So finally back to filming my YouTubes. So this is the first time doing push on the new setup. So first time doing the new push session on the new setup. The exercise order is essentially the same. The only thing that's drastically changed is there's a little bit more intensifiers. It's going to say less, there's actually more. And I've swapped the decline press for the incline chest press, and I've swapped the incline chest press for the incline barbell press. The whole reason is often when I get deep into prep, my joints take a battering. So I'm making the change to more demanding movements now, so when I get later into prep, I can then move to a less demanding movement on my joints. So I'll then swap incline barbell press to a chest press, to a normal chest press like a machine, and then the incline chest press will change to another machine. So I'm like preparing for a tired body, essentially. But feeling very pumped. I'm trying to smash this session out in about 90 minutes or over, hour 40. But I'm a good portion through it already, which is good. So just a recap. Incline barbell press, 2 sets to 8 to 12. I'm not doing like a low rep set here purely to save my joints already. So it still works out as a top set and a back off set, but staying within 2 sets to 8 to 12. Then from there, the incline Smith press. I'm drastically weak on any vertical pressing. So I think we've got 120, assuming the bar split heel. 120 for, I want to say 7. It was meant to be a cluster set of 4 into 4, but I only managed 9 total reps, which is a bit shocking. And then from there, went on to the incline chest press that I've been doing. 6 to 10 reps there, the 2 drop sets. So that was decent. And then straight to the seat dip machine. 1 all out set, 8 to 12, and then a muscle round, which is good, so I'm feeling very, very pumped. All my compounds are done. Whole upper body shown engorged with blood and water and voluminous fluids. So now I'm going to give the new pec deck a whirl, the Watson one, and then on to the rest of the fluff for chest and shoulders. I do have a sty, so I've not been punched. I'd love to say it's from Lucy farting in my face or something fucking extravagant. It's likely dirt on my pillow from my dog. More than likely. Or a grizzly bit from the exfoliant wash I use in the morning. One of the two. It's very uncomfortable. It looks well, as bad as it feels. So pec deck done. That attempt at a Widowmaker was a bit pathetic. I drastically overshot the weight, so that was 26 total reps. I would have went for more, but for me to physically move the weight, my back had to come off of the pad, which is more of a hugging motion than the actual chest fly. So I called it quits on that. And then next week I'll just drop the weight a good 2 plates to allow me to actually hit the rep aim as much as I like Widowmakers. I like going, as much as I like going heavy, I far prefer to hit my rep aims, especially on a Widowmaker. But my chest is full. That is a very, very nice tactic. It's far better for at least myself than the primal one we have. The arms moves, so where the handle moves, it moves in and out. So your elbow joint has more freedom, which is very, very nice. Especially if you're someone like myself. Currently, that was horrible. Especially if you're someone like myself who has horrendous elbow joints. My bicep tendon, my tricep tendon get battered and bruised like a fucking old hooker. So, the bulk of everything is done. Finishing up with my superset for delts, so side raise into like a front raisey circle raise thing. Seen such a drastic difference in my front relaxed shots, specifically my front lat and front relaxed shots since adding this in. Definitely a lot more bubblier in that top line, as people like to call it, upper chest and down. Usually 4 sets of push down and 4 sets of overhead. It's extension, but to save time I'm doubling up, making it a superset, because I hate to break it to everyone, I'm likely going to get in very big trouble and lose my hardcore card. My arm training is at 2 reps in reserve. I know, I'm ashamed of myself. It is shocking. What would Dorian do? But to be frank, doing my arm work at 2 reps in reserve has not only allowed me to increase my work volume, but it's also saved my joints in a big way, and I've seen better progress doing it. So to do 8 sets of triceps, 8 sets of biceps, 8 sets of triceps, 8 sets of biceps, 8 weeks, each week, not 8 weeks, each week, and I just get a real big pump, and that's it, nothing fancy. And often the movements I do change because I get bored of doing arms. I don't have good arms, so if you have bad arms, you want to get good arms, don't listen to this. Likely my next off season, arms is going to have to be a very big priority, but it is what it is. So, trying to be a lot more consistent with these. I say this every single fucking time I do a vlog, but I am trying, I promise. So we are 26 weeks out to the date, or to the day. Today it is the 5th of March, Sunday. This week's been my first proper week back to training after essentially a 2-week deload after I came off my cycle. Annoyingly, I have a sty. This is it, looking good, as you will see. But just because of me getting a sty, on Wednesday I couldn't train, so I ended up training Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I rarely ever train 3 days on the trot, so I've done nothing but eat my meals and stare into space today, so I am a good half day behind doing check-ins and work. So I'm about to have essentially a double shot of espresso to wake me the fuck up and get through check-ins. So yeah, 26 weeks out. Everything's kind of taken over nicely, I will not lie. I was expecting quite a drastic drop off in fullness and like roundness in my physique coming off gear. But everything's kind of holding. My strength's still in a nice spot. I discussed this in the training video that this will be attached to, so I trained chest on Tuesday, and that's when my eye looked really bad. But I kind of briefly explained why I've adjusted some movements. Now going ahead, now that we're 6 weeks away from starting prep, and essentially it's because at the moment when I'm fat and happy, my joints are in a good spot, essentially. I've got a few niggles here and there, but the growth I've got now, I find I get a bit more out of from the stuff I was using prior. Anyway, so often a lot of the little niggles and the little like banging. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so often when I'm using like slightly nicer growth, all the little silly niggles and bump in the road injuries. It's probably the best way to describe them. I tend to find they all go away when the growth hormone I am using is better. So yeah. Anyway, other than that, the reason I've changed movements is because at the moment I'm in a good spot with my joints, and once it gets like 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, I won't be. So I've changed incline chest press to incline barbell press in my push session, and then I've dropped the decline press and done incline chest press for that. So I'm still doing that incline chest press because I do connect to it very, very well. And then I've dropped the shoulder press machine back to the quite high shoulder press. I just need to be a bit more honest with myself in my loading capabilities, because it's a fucking heavy Smith machine, and because I'm doing that second, I'm not as strong as I'd like to be on it, annoyingly. Nice. So those are the two changes I've made in my push session. My back session hasn't changed. I've actually made that a little bit easier on my joints, but it's because my pull session is now like essentially a density day. I kind of cleared all this with Andy this past check-in. So now I've got two high rep sets of a leg press on my density day. This past week I trained at Pure, but that was just an absolute one-off. So I used their like pin-loaded horizontal leg press, which is fucking dog shit. But going forward, I'll likely be using either the pin-loaded one that is at Flex or the hip press, and I'll be having my squat shoes on so I can get a greater amount of knee flexion and I can manipulate the load a bit better, so I can really keep all the load on my quads and just batter the shit out of myself. But in that density day or the pull day, I've got 2 sets of deadlifts, which is a stiff leg deadlift variation, that leg press, and now either dumbbell row or barbell row. And then on my leg day that I did yesterday, I'm now doing 2 sets of squats, and it will vary between barbell or safety bar. And it's the same thing I'm doing with the dumbbell. I'm trying to get into a better habit of, rather than following an exact sets and reps, getting more into a routine of just following a basic framework. Right? Like I'm gonna do 2 sets of squats, 1 heavy set, 1 high rep set. I don't care what bar I'm using for squats, I'm just going to do squats, and then I'll just remember what I did the last time I did it. So it's a bit more intuitive, and kind of going off of how I feel, rather than being completely stuck to the logbook. But it, again, like this past year, has been such a great off season. I've put that down to listening to myself and listening to what my head says, and trusting my own instincts, especially with training. So yeah, at the moment I'm essentially in like my own little bro science-esque prime phase prior to prep. So food's not changed. I've recently added in Glycomax. So I'm doing, on a training day, I'm doing 6 caps. On a rest day I'm doing 3. And I'm still doing my Lantus insulin in the morning. 10 I use, along with my 2 I use a growth hormone. But I'm finding since I've added in the Glycomax, I've seen a huge impact in my, not only my digestion, but my appetite. Like I'm actually hungry, which is a new feeling. I've not been hungry in a good while. So kind of kicking myself, because if I had that this time last year, off season, I could have been a bit more productive. But it is what it is. We'll use it next time we push up. But that's allowing me to ensure I'm getting all my meals in, not struggling to get the meals in, not going to bed feeling bloated and like forcing food down. So fingers crossed it allows me to keep food high going right into the prep, because this is the highest my food's ever been. So it'd be nice to keep the sustenance high. I'd really like to avoid doing like 100-gram carb days if we can. But other than that, I'm really happy. I'm happy with how my physique's looking. Cut off there by an update on my phone. But yeah, I'm really happy with how my physique is looking. I've not posed post-workout properly in about 3 weeks now. So I'll likely do like a bit of that tomorrow when I do push. But pretty happy with how everything's looking fasted. My arms are looking a bit denser now as well, and my back. Post-workout, I think my back looks good, and then fasted, I'm like, I'm soft. I don't know if it's because that's where I maintain the majority of my water and fat, or if it's a density issue or a skin thickness issue. I don't know, but whenever I'm in my off season, I struggle to see any detail in my back. So we'll really see what's built back there in about 16 weeks' time, when I'm approaching like the 10-week out, 8-week out mark. But really happy with how I'm sitting. I'm leaner than I was going into my last prep. And my last prep, I went from 94 kilo to my lightest stage weight was 82. So about 12, 13 kilo. So if we go off that basis, I'll be on stage at 90 kilo at my lightest, which is a bit mad. Like, I don't see myself as a heavyweight. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of this is new muscle tissue as well. So we'll see how dense and how grainy I do look in certain shots. But I'll be better than last year, or last prep. And I know I've brought my back up where it needed to be brought up. So yeah, just gotta keep doing what I'm doing and just wait until prep starts. It is a very, very boring time in my bodybuilding right now, because it's not like, oh, I'm cruising to then start getting massive again. It's like, I'm cruising to start prep. So it's kind of just like, I just want to start prep now rather than waiting 6 weeks. But it's all process.